Play some music. You have music?
Hang on. Hello, and welcome to the UrCast. It still says it's connecting to YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Get this link.
You able to get the link?
I mean, does that have to be the mobile version? HTTPS. They want me to.
Ant is diligently trying to get the YouTube link to show
Oh,
people.
yeah.
Maybe there's a way to get the link beforehand. I don't know.
I don't think there is, but I mean, it would be a lot easier if I was on a computer. I'm using a stupid Kindle tablet. I'm gonna put it in general as well.
Did you get it?
Yep, I got it. Posted
Okay.
in general, posted in water cooler. Should obviously
We're
post it in your tab.
we're still Did you get it?
Yeah.
Live. Yeah, good. Okay then. Hello and welcome to the UrCast. I'm
Episode 3.
Praetor. It is episode 3.
Finally, ready? I'm ready for episode 3. Yeah, and
This
I'm
is
Anton.
this is more like a quarterly show now because of time.
I'm
Time is our
bi-quarterly even.
worst enemy.
Well, sometimes it's good to let the sauce simmer a little bit. Let the events happen.
Okay. Is it capturing us? Yeah, it's capturing you too. Okay, our first. So the topic of this one is where did everybody go?
Now, where is everybody?
The 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 people you, the activity on Urbit dropped a lot over the
Yeah,
past
it seems
month.
like
Over the
everybody got
past month,
super
I'd say.
busy. I mean, I know I got busy and a couple others that were regularly posting a lot. Seems like they got busy in their personal lives, but it seems like just the community in general. Um, I go to water cooler all the time, and it's definitely a lot slower.
There in the Sanctorium slower. Urchan is very slow now.
Oh my God, yeah, it's like a ghost town some days. I mean, really, the only community that's always going on, network subject is one where there's always, because they post all the memes that are going on and they do a lot of stuff outside of Urbit, but Internet Weirdness Task Force.
The Internet Weirdest Task Force I actually think is busier than ever.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's moved there and it's like the
So
central
is
hub.
Collapse is still doing good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting though to look at all these communities now that are like towering over Urbit community because for so long Urbit community was where everybody would go, everybody would discuss. But I mean, this was the hope for it to be decentralized. Everybody not to go there, but to go into their communities, discuss their hobbies and interests instead of just discussion in general.
So somebody asked me for the link. I have to send it to them. Okay.
Yeah, I guess maybe we should keep it open.
So how is so why do you think everyone left? Because Urbit wasn't new even when we joined. Well, I mean it's new in the sense of like it's really early, but it wasn't a brand new thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people have talked about there being waves of people coming in. I don't know if we came in a wave. It felt like there was a lot of people discussing things at that time, but it seems like maybe some of the bigger changes a lot of people get super excited coming and talk about, and then for the most part they're just kind of waiting for other implementation. I know I talked to you a bunch about WebRTC. We're always having troubles trying to do the stream connecting. The second we could do that through Urbit, I think that'll get a lot of people on and staying on instead of just kind of checking the progress here and there.
Yeah, I don't notice as many comments being
Yeah.
around.
Oh,
I
comments?
don't.
Yeah. Well, now it seems like everybody, because they're banned from going into certain communities, if they wanted to be here, they got to plan it. I know a lot of new people move from comments to plan it.
Well, if there's any comments out there, they are still welcome in Urchan.
Yeah, it's one of the few communities now. I know Internet Weirdness, they did a big post on not allowing comments. And I talked the last time about if I had a community that was, like my community, I was taken seriously, I wouldn't allow that at all. So, yeah, your channel's like the place you can come hang out as a comment, I guess.
Hey, well, the whole point is to shitpost,
Exactly.
so it
Yeah,
doesn't
I
matter.
know. Yeah, there was a pretty crazy post I saw, and my first thought was, who would post it? And then, yeah, sure enough, comment.
um,
Yeah, oh man, I'm not even gonna read it.
well, how how spicy is it?
I mean, it's not that it's that spicy, it's just so weird. I mean, whatever, I'll just read it. It says, I need, how do you post images here? I need to know soon because my wife and I are about to meet her boyfriend, and I don't want us to be late.
It's a classic
It's
one.
like, yeah, what? Confused. I don't know if that's legit.
Let's see. So should we move on to our main topics, our list of topics anyway?
Yeah, why not? I want to start with, why don't we start with the Shaka discussion? So I thought that was so good. It's kind of longer form.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
sure. Read it out.
yeah, I got to read this. Okay, so he says, not quite the vision I had planned out. I sent a version to Ed on Discord, but this is both typical, and you'd probably love to hear this one. Over the years, I've become to realize how these asynchronous chat platforms are some of the worst ways for humans to communicate. However, I think with the upcoming modifiers to Urbit, you could create something that comes a little closer to in real life private conversations. These three aspects would be necessary. One, impermanence. Messages get deleted after a specific time, just like how private spoken words don't get recorded. Two, security. Nobody outside the groups can access any of the content. Three, anonymity. Identities are encrypted, but participants can give each other nicknames which are stored locally, just like how someone listening in a private conversation wouldn't necessarily know the names of the participants unless they are said out loud. You can circumvent that here since people could refer to each other encrypted identity, I imagine. Storing nicknames locally is important because participants have deniability, increasing trust. They can easily claim it wasn't me, they just pretended to be me. Yeah, so that really just opened my mind to a lot of thinking on Urbit. Really, the last one, the anonymity. Um, I know before there was a different variation of you being able to do nicknames in the groups. I think this is even better that you give nicknames to people.
Well,
Um,
yeah. Um, that is well, a couple of these features are actually on Telegram that we
oh
use
yeah,
all the time.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, in fact, the first place I learned your star name was in Telegram. I immediately updated your name to Nildis, and it's like that. I instantly knew, and it was a good, yeah. I mean, I think that's the way that you kind of bridge the gap between these names, these planet names that are pseudonyms. They don't really make a bunch of sense. For you to be able to give a nickname to someone, yeah, that would be my preference.
Well, I know a lot of people appreciate the
For you
timed
to be able to give a nickname.
for the timed messages to delete.
Yeah, Telegram again, and I hate to keep mentioning them, but they have that feature.
Well, it's definitely
And there's
it's a very good feature. It has a lot of great features, but the people that are on it, it can be pretty bad.
yeah,
The
yeah. I
actual
was
user
explaining
base
that
is
to someone the
terrible.
other day. The product's not even the worst, but the people who use it. But if you think of even a 24-hour burn period on messages, that would be great.
Well, that would be. I suppose he's correct that it does bring it closer to a real life conversation because if you're talking to somebody, it's gone as soon as you say it technically, unless they're
Yeah,
having
and then
a mic in the room.
yeah, I mean, my only worry is, well, if you don't include the third, then the first isn't possible because you can just take a screenshot. Um, but with the third, it's like, well, but it's your nickname of them, so the plausible deniability of like, well, that's not me. That's just someone saying to
Well,
me.
a good well, didn't you is it still there that you can change your name by the group? I don't think
No,
that's not a feature that was around.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Early on, that was so nice, and that's when everybody in your chain decided to switch to anon, which was cool. I mean, you could click on their name and figure out who they were, but unless and a lot of times you wouldn't put forth that extra effort, so you would just look at it like whatever is being said is anon.
I mean, it actually it is really useful. Like in Steam bit, you could put down your Steam username, or if you were doing a role playing group, you could change it to your character.
Yeah, I know they never really when they removed that they had talked about giving some other alternative for that feature, but it just kind of never came.
I
And
don't
we
know.
got to get on the
Well,
devs, start
maybe
bugging them.
they consider the alternative to be how we're able to change our name across all of Urbit at once.
Yeah,
That
but there
that
was a lot of uses because even in the Christian groups, we would say like denominations in our name. Um, just kind of a nice feature to have to be able to
well,
delineate
it's
yourself
a pretty
for this
useful
group.
feature. It's a standard one on Discord. Changing your name by the group.
Yeah, the second version, the security, nobody outside of the group can access any of the content. I mean, obviously they already have that, so I do think that's important. But
Well,
I
yeah.
think if
Well,
they were to,
that's the biggest reason to move is that all of your data is under your control, unless of course you're paying Talon to host you.
which some of us are, don't make fun of us. Some of us are. Some of us are and aren't. You got to try all the hosting.
Hey, the only people who are real is those hosting it from some old netbook with Ubuntu shoved on it.
But really, the small method, that's when I have the time and really just the extra money to build it, I'll be doing the small method, the
The
little
Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry Pi where you put your Urbit on it. That'll be the way to go.
Shoutouts to small computers.
Yeah, always. See, the problem, I think, with what Shaka is talking about is Klon's not necessarily trying to build this out to be Discord alternative. They're trying
No,
to
no,
get other implementation in.
that they're the whole goal is to make a new intranet.
Yeah.
It's not meant
Well,
to
because
just be a chat thing, but that's just what
yeah, I
was here
mean,
early on.
I see what he's saying, and I'm thinking a lot of that could be done overnight if that's what they were trying to do. I mean, if they wanted to put a burn option in your messages for chats, that would really help push people to notebooks too. Because right now, a lot of people are using chats over notebooks because it's just too much effort to put a notebook post. But if the alternative was chat burns after a day, notebook posts are permanent, then there would be a better reason to use them.
I do use a notebook, but I guess that's just because I wanna feel cool. I use it personally
Oh
for
yeah. Well,
personal
personally, I
notes.
use it.
For personal notes, I still do think it has a use, especially for blog posts. It's perfect for that.
Yeah.
The the, the notebook should be renamed to blog or something like that, because that's what it's really emulating.
Yeah. That's true.
The We'll move on to the next. What's this? The number three.
Well, should we go
Oh,
back
we already
up
did that one.
to
We'll
go to
we'll
ANCAP?
we'll go back up, and we're gonna take a look at Urbit's first webcomic, made by the famous Race Raposa. Maybe he's watching, maybe he's not. Maybe he's stuck at his job. But it's called
Wage
ANCAP.
slaving.
It's in the group Talkner Lackbez slash ANCAP. It's an anarcho-capitalist group, and this is Race Raposa's webcomic. This one's parodying Tim Pool. The one he posted last week is actually my favorite one.
That's pretty good. Mixed economy, mixed race, middle, moderate, a hippie farm.
As far as I know, this is Urbit's first webcomic.
I believe so. Yeah.
So you guys can check out Race Raposa. He's also has you can follow him
Yeah.
on Twitter at twitter.com/ancatcomic. He's also on Telegram. You can buy individual panels on OpenSea as NFTs if you're into that.
Oh wow.
Well, he is an
Oh, I see it.
anarcho. He is an ANCAP after all, right?
Yeah.
He has to know how to get the hustle done.
Yeah, I do like last week's ANCAP 8.
Yeah, a loss. We'll hop back. That's Conservacat. It's the perfect comic for these trying times in America. So the next one, what did so this is a question I wanted to propose. What do we do when somebody wants to stop hosting a group? And should there be a way to transfer a group to somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, the problem would be the link of the name.
Well, yeah. Well,
We
could there
need to
be a
make
way
a
to
way,
keep it?
obviously, for that. But yeah, there should, yeah, like to pack it up, send it to another person, relink the group, and still have the content.
Yeah, so like that because all of the data is stored locally, so theoretically there could be a way to transfer the files, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess what you'd have to change it on everybody's shit. That would be the biggest thing is all the people that are connected to it already.
Yeah, that is the thing is the URL, um, but they're theoretic. I mean, there has to be a way to. It's pretty easy to change a link, right? That's all it is a link.
Yeah.
It,
Well,
it,
and it's definitely something that they should think about now. I mean, it's something that's going to happen eventually. They have it
it's
elsewhere. You can
yeah.
send channels, change channel ownership, admin.
I've seen people talk about um, what to do with the ID after somebody dies.
Yeah, I
This
mean, I'm
this is
leaving mine in my will for sure.
this is that idea, but on a much smaller scale. What happens when somebody just doesn't want the group anymore? But it's a big group, and it happens to be
Yeah,
a big group, and you just want to transfer ownership so you don't have to keep moderating it or hosting it.
Yeah, well, that's what's kind of interesting is now that I'm thinking of it, if you transfer ownership on a Telegram group, it feels like it's transferring, oh, now I'm not the owner, you're the owner. But really, it's still hosted on Telegram. And same with Discord. So they're just rerouting who is the owner of that part of their server.
Yeah, this
But
is
on Urbit, it's a little bit different. It's like you're actually hosting it. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, it's not as simple as transferring permissions. This is
yeah,
just this is more complicated, but it's certainly solvable.
yeah. And like I said, it's something that's going to happen eventually. I mean, it's
Yeah,
something that they should be thinking about and planning.
it's just a matter of transferring the files in the end.
Yeah, I think transferring the files as far as like the actual file contents of the group, but that's probably not that complicated because they already have backups for groups so that you can breach and like bring it back. But it, it would be the process of telling each ship, hey, the group's new location is this, which would probably be a little bit more complicated because not all the people are going to be connected. So it would be something you'd have to be sending out once they connect. But like I said, I mean, it would be complicated, but it'd be something that they would need to think of. That's
Yeah, yeah.
something that they need to do.
It's I just say it's more complex than transferring a telegram than giving somebody a
Yeah,
telegram group, but it's not it's not ultra complex.
yeah, it's not rock science.
Okay, so the next question is for me. It's about adoption. Does the average person care that much about privacy?
Oh man, I wish it was yes. I really wish it was yes.
Well, okay, I can phrase it this way. All of us know that the average person appears to not care. Well, say they appear
They
to.
don't.
Is it, is
They
it, is it
definitely don't care about privacy.
is it really apathy, or is it not being knowledgeable about the fact that Twitter, Facebook, etc. all harvest your data?
Yeah, I mean, well, I can tell you this. I tell people, and the look on their face of not caring at all, I don't think it's that they're uninformed because it doesn't matter how I'll break it down to people. People just typically don't care about the loss of privacy because they feel like, what do they have to hide almost? So I
So
don't think privacy is huge to the average person, but I think it's something that people appreciate along the way. Like if they happen to get some privacy, they'll um, they'll be happy about that feature.
they don't feel that it's a big enough breach of privacy. I think because I know that some years ago, some politician, I think it was in Chicago, talked about installing cameras at people's houses. People cared about that. Thankfully, they cared about that, right?
Yeah, but I guess they think about, oh, this company can look at the processes on my computer, or this company's tracking where I go online. They don't think that that's a problem.
Well, they are able to look at like for example, I know that Facebook, if you have a Facebook tab open, they're able to see the other tabs that you have open in some way.
Well, whatever. This isn't like a deep dive. We don't have to get
No,
to
it's
the
not.
bottom of it now. But everybody knows for a fact that their phone's listening to them because they'll say something and get an ad for it. It's like
Well,
it's not
I can't.
hard to figure out. Like I've never searched for something ever, and me and my wife will be talking about it, and then I get an ad for it. It's like, come on, they're going on dumb.
Yeah, well, they're able to figure that out through other searches and such as well. I do think it's impossible to say that people don't know because Facebook tracking you is a meme.
Oh, well, they for sure know, but that's what I'm saying. I think most people just kind of laugh it off, like,
So
yeah,
so so the answer is that it appears to be apathy.
apathy. Yeah, I guess that would be. I mean, it's hard for me to say because I'm so pro privacy, which is almost like antithetical to how I am as a person because I'm very open book. If someone asks me something, I'm very open about it. but I'm just against the idea that someone would, without asking, take information. It feels very
The the the
lying feeling.
the the real way to get people to switch to something else is to offer far better features. That's the real way to get people to switch.
Yeah, when I was talking to you about it before, it's not so much about the features as something not getting in their way. I find the most annoying thing to me isn't even if I don't know how to use a program, it's when I can't do what I know how to do. I'm trying to open something up and something pops up in my way or
Oh yeah,
something blocks
that's the
me from
worst.
doing. Um, and the same thing with privacy. If I'm trying to access something, I don't, a lot of people probably wouldn't care if their privacy was upheld, but if they're not able to do the things that they want, then all of a sudden they get.
Well, user friendliness is of course very important. Urbit has a while to go before that technically.
Well, I mean, it does and it doesn't. It's kind of interesting because there's the Twan and then there's the rest of Urbit. But I think Twan today is a perfect avenue for
Oh,
anyone.
to enter, yes. That's the easiest way to enter currently.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think about it. You do have to set up an S3 bucket though on Twan. It doesn't come with one. Yeah, it doesn't. So I guess that makes it a little bit more of a difficult project. But I mean, you could get Twan set up and have them email you the login, and it would be like using any other website, and you could be on that day, even if you knew nothing about computers or what Urbit is.
So, shall we move on to new groups?
Yes, we should. Yes.
Okay, new groups. Browser. Okay. The first one we can shout out is TACDET Tobwit slash Apocalypse Survival. It's very timely. There's a lot of people who think it's coming. Do you think the apocalypse is coming, Anson?
I mean, you already know how I feel. Yes, but maybe it's hard to say.
I don't. I don't think we're gonna have a full on um, Mad Max post-apocalypse kind of thing. I don't think we're gonna need bunkers to survive it, but there could be some problems.
Well, you know what I was thinking about recently is what if it's you bring up Mad Max? What if it is Mad Max, but at the same time it's also Wakanda for other people?
Well,
It's like the system props this world up, and as long as you're going to play pretend with them, then it looks amazing and it's really good, and you could just consume all the time. But if you reject
sure.
that, then
Well,
you're Mad Max.
that's a cyberpunk kind of apocalypse thing. What that
Oh, see,
what
I
that
don't know what cyberpunk is really. But is that what the game's about?
Oh no, well, I mean cyberpunk the genre,
Oh, okay.
not the game. But I think it's a sort of cyberpunk apocalypse because there has actually in the past I saw a video from like a company. I don't remember the company that name, but they were talking about cry freedom ghettos, and the cry freedom ghettos were for the people who wouldn't obey and join the group. So they were just pushed off into ghettos.
Yeah, and then it'll make it really easy for them to make propaganda because it's like, well, they chose this. Look, they could
Yeah,
come
well,
live like us. They could come
that
party. They can come have a great time.
if you want to call that's really a dystopia, not an
Yeah.
apocalypse. That's what I would
Oh,
expect.
yeah. So then I guess I'm not expecting an apocalypse. I'm expecting a dystopia. But for me, it's an apocalypse
Yeah,
to my world, to my worldview.
exactly. Yeah,
It'll be apocalyptic.
it's a cyberpunk dystopia. Is what we expect.
Exactly.
But go into there. You could still get. You still can. There's still methods to prepare.
I
And
know, right? You can find how to
Urbit is a
survive.
way to prepare. Urbit is a way to prepare for that future.
Certainly is.
It,
Yeah.
it'll be your internet.
Now
Next
we're
up
using
is
ham radios linked to each other to connect to Urbit.
Instead of WebRTC, we'll have ham radio for voice
Yeah.
chat. Um, Next up is Tasheb Sovereign M&A Guild. That is all things startup acquisitions and entrepreneurial exits. So if you're a businessman or an ANCAP, which is the same thing, if you're an ANCAP, you're always a businessman. That's a place for you. Do you have any entrepreneurial startups you want to do? Or
Like
exits?
12. Yeah, like 12 different startups I'm trying to do.
Do
You know,
you?
I'm always
Wow.
talking to you about different business. I'm
Oh,
like,
wait.
oh, well, let's do this. I'm joining that right now. That's a great
You're
idea.
jo- you can tell people about your church because you were just streaming this morning on D
I
Live.
could, yeah. Well, that's not a business so much, but I have other businesses that I'm definitely going to push here.
I have Creator Creations to push. I should join that too. Um, Next
Yeah,
up
well, I
is
mean, for work, I also do a lot of business stuff. So, depending how serious these people are.
you can find out there's 15 people in there apparently. Next up is Millet Dorson slash Finance. Now, this is an interesting one. You actually commented on it in the index, didn't you? Yeah, you're right there. This is an
Oh yeah, it's
alternative.
beautiful.
This is different from the cryptocurrency forum, which moved, and I'll talk about that next. It has a bot, doesn't it? Yeah. It's a fun financial chart bot, including prices. Have you actually used it? Because I haven't actually used it.
I've not. No, I
Oh,
saw it and
I
just
saw you
was
comment on it, right?
astounded
There's
at
your
how
comment right
amazing it was.
there.
Yeah, well, I
There's your
was very
comment.
excited about it, but then look at the example at chart master dark. I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to figure out the syntax of it right now. And then forgot to come back to it.
Okay, well, for the people who do want to figure out syntax, I haven't gone into it yet. I only read across it today. He says you can watch the Federal Reserve's balance sheet as well. We're
Yeah,
gonna
that was the part that really excited me.
we're gonna have to call up Ron Paul for that one. Make a chart of the general metadata. Anyway, it's a bot for pro investors.
See, these are the type of projects that interest me the most when someone has a kind of a complete idea. I know that the Olympics was kind of short lived and honestly not that exciting because the Olympics isn't very exciting. But the part that was implemented in Urbit, that was a bunch of fun. Actually, I'll probably never forget that Olympics experience.
Next up is the cryptocurrency forum moved fairly recently. Recently in UrCast time anyway. Sonwet slash cryptocurrency forum. Talk about all your cryptocurrency. In our last group shout out this week is the Urbit. I'm not going to be able to pronounce it. Urbit Terratis World Building Group.
Yeah, Tertius World Building Guild.
Is that how it's pronounced? Tertius?
I have no idea. Don't come to me.
Oh.
I butcher every word. I can't even pronounce my own name.
Also, it's from the famous Litmus written slash Urbit hyphen Tertius hyphen world building hyphen group to join that. All these groups will be in the description after the show is over.
Yeah, I'll read this one. This one's so well written.
Go for it.
Litmus written. He's getting. I mean, I should start giving like an MVP every time. I feel like I'm always talking about how good someone's doing. So this week's MVP is going to Litmus written. Um, really, just the design and everything he does in general. You look at the design. He throws the Urbit in there. Simple, elegant. It says introduction. Are you a creative type? Are you working on some sort of fictional world in which narratives might be situated? There's hope for you. The Urbit Tertius, I'm probably mispronouncing that, World Building Guild. Scope. Discuss your maladaptive daydreaming in an environment of constant affirmation and loving kindness. Post your art, writing, notes, and show on. Like this is so beautiful. Like the attention to detail. If you're seeing it, you're knowing how beautiful it is. Hone your craft under mild, artificially imposed time pressure designed to coax you into real productivity, but only if you want to. Partake in the aforementioned challenge and potentially win virtual, valueless, non fungible token challenge coins. Share your sprawling legendarium with the people on Urbit who are statistically most likely to care. I'm like dying. This is so good. Read the rules,
Rules.
discover the clues, unlock the mystery. Take a look. Perhaps it may be your kind of scene. Oh man. Okay, and then we'll throw in there moons and only no comments. So sorry if you're a comment. You'll have to purchase the planet before you can see this.
Well, there is a lot of people on Urbit who really know how to sell their ideas.
Very much, yeah.
That's a great example of it. We need to try harder ourselves.
I know, yeah. We came into Urbit so excited, and then we gotta step it back up. I feel like the initial push was so much stronger.
Right. Well, we don't know where everybody went, but we do have our suspicions. It might have been because of that event. All right. Do you have anything else to add?
On where people might have gone.
Or to why they
No,
should
I'll
come
just
back?
wax poetically on where people might have gone. No, I mean you would have to hope optimistically that people are busy. People are
People are
tending to
busy.
their fields. Yeah, which is a good thing. If people have came in, they've established a little home, and now they'll just slowly bring people over. I feel like the growth has been good as far as development over the last couple of months. So, I did expect though more when Tron opened up the hosting, more people to jump on. So maybe because it's still private and you have to have like an invite.
It could be that. It could be that. I do think comments getting banned is the biggest reason myself. Comments not being allowed in a lot of groups.
Yeah,
That
do
that
you?
did that that did allow. It's just my guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or maybe
Well
it's
then,
because
but
of
then you would
summer
think
and
that the community would be so much more popular.
maybe. Oh,
Well,
that's
but maybe
true.
that's true because the people that were coming in as the comments excited to go to these other groups now, they can't.
Or
Poor
maybe they all
comment.
just went outside because of summer. Well, it's summer in the
Yeah,
northern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, it's summer.
yeah, that's true. They're just enjoying this fine summer we're having.
Well, I guess we could finish off with our ideas, further ideas we're contemplating for the UrCast channel because we're thinking about expanding the scope.
Oh yeah, to get some other videos. Really, we should have anyone who has ideas, a good idea for a video, just post it, comment it. Because
You can
I have
post it.
some ideas, but I mean, really,
I was contemplating looking at other decentralized, open source, or privacy focused programs,
projects just in general.
some projects, but the scope of the channel might change in the future. So you could like, comment, subscribe, retweet, or do whatever the hell wherever you are watching this.
Redo it, updo it, all that.
Share it with your mom. All right, well, we'll see you guys next time.